Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I'll be showing you one of the games that I just finished playing, and this is probably one of my better games. Now, there are some moments in this game where I didn't play too well, but let's just get into it. First of all, we have a Sicilian with this weird D3 line. Now, usually I'm prepared against the open, but not too familiar with this, so I just decided to play some natural looking moves. Now these moves were indeed pretty good, so I did play correctly. And these are all some pretty natural moves. Like this is sort of what most middle game positions will kind of look like, where both sides are fairly equal. And here I play the move h3 to kick out h6. I mean to kick out the bishop, and I play this move in case if I want to play this b5 move later. I can't actually play it right now, since let's say we give white a free move. If I play it, I actually lose to a tactic, I think, where, yeah, so I lose to this because white attacks the rook and is also threatening this. So I didn't play this move, the b5 move right now, so instead I just decided to go all out for the bishop. Now, this move isn't actually that good because white has a brilliant move to sacrifice a knight, but I thought that white was a bit cramped. Like, I felt that I had a bit more space in him, so I just decided to go out to get this bishop. And my idea was that if he goes back to g3, I was going to go knight h5 and just trade off this bishop and have a bit more space. But he sacrifices. He does get 2 pawns for a knight, which isn't terrible, but I'm in this position, it's equal. Usually 2 pawns for a knight, it really depends on the situation. Sometimes a 2 pawn can actually even beat a knight, although those cases are mainly in like in games. But I sidestep my king, maybe to bring my rook into the game, and here he blunders. Now, I am up a piece, so I do want to trade things down, and after this exchange, I will eventually be up some material. Or maybe not, but here I just take with my knight, and here I sort of hallucinated for a while, because I forgot that my knight can actually take the bishop, and this theme will once again pop up later in this game, where I just sort of hallucinate that my piece can take another piece, and there really isn't no other move apart from taking the bishop. So I think that this is probably my biggest weakness, is that sometimes I'm caught up in these like fancy long lines and I just forget what's on the board at the moment. So I actually spent quite a long time here, just did not realize. I was like calculating different lines, wasn't paying too close attention to the board, but I did see the move. After he takes, I played rook to g8, attacking the pawn on g4. He defends, which actually isn't the best move, surprisingly. Don't really understand why defending your pawn isn't the best move, but I played this move. Now cracking the center open is good. And I wanted to reroute my knight to like f4, where I can put pressure on the d3 pawn, but he doesn't allow that to happen, and here I play king to g7, maybe to bring my rook later on to the game, but this wasn't actually the best move. And I take, he takes, and I bring my rook out. And here the rook is even more powerful. If it gets to like h2, the game is pretty much just over, since I pick up this pawn and all of these pawns are weak. He doesn't allow me to do that, so instead I play the move a4. And my logic was that if he takes, I can actually go here, and he has no way of protecting these pawns. Like if he went to like b6, I was simply gonna go rook to d8, or the engine tells me I can simply take the pawn, but my idea was rook to d8. But I guess that's also fine. He does this, and here I just take. Like, I don't even mind trading because it just feels like I'm better. And here I reroute the knight, which is actually the best move. And I was trying to reroute it to the d4 square, where it's a really nice outpost. And another thing is that it can't be attacked by a pawn, which is even better as it pressures the b3 pawn for eternity. So I go here to protect my d6 pawn. He goes to d5, and here I was thinking of maybe trying to trap the rook, and that's exactly what happens. And here is probably the most embarrassing part of the game, where I once again sort of just hallucinated. Of course the best move was to take the rook, but I just completely missed the fact that after he takes, I can actually take back with the knight. Like, I do not know why I didn't see that. I'm pretty mad at myself. And I previously, before this game, I lost to a 1500 due to a similar reason where I was like calculating other lines and I wasn't focusing on what is on the board happening at the exact moment. So I just played this move. It's a mistake. I am still winning, but now it's a bit harder. I pick up a pawn, and we get into this position where I'm just winning. Here I just traded because didn't want to get into anything fancy, and I can fork the two pawns, pick this one up, and here you see I basically have to take back with the king. Like, I'm actually not so sure I can win this if we get into this position. Like, if I don't play carefully, white might actually be the one that's trying to win since he has two pawns. But I don't allow any of that to happen. I march my king up, and I just push my pawn. Like, white's pawns aren't really able to move. And eventually I queen. And here I got a bit nervous because, first of all, I was a bit low on time. And second, I was just trying to stop white's pass pawn, but eventually I get it. And I get the win. And there we go, and that's pretty much it for today. This game got me to 1840, not my best rating, but still pretty good. And I'll see you all in my next video. Goodbye.